All right, Arvin. So let's talk a little bit about listings,
Mhm.
specifically about listing suspensions and some of the other errors and issues that can come up. And just, how do you kind of classify and understand these and work through getting them resolved? So maybe you can start by just telling us like some of the common ones that you see or recent ones, I guess, you've been seeing.
Well, yeah, for me, I think the general rule here is trying to fix all of the stranded inventory that is associated to these violations, because there are several reasons why a certain listing is stranded. Like, for example, it's a missing SKU, deleted SKU, or the offer date is set to the future. But if the stranded inventory reason is because it has this restricted warning, this product condition complaints that we talked about before, and then IP violation as well that we tackled the last time. The uh, the workaround here is actually reviewing your listing if it is compliant to the guidelines of Amazon on the terms of and conditions. Like, for example,
Mm,
in July 2020 or 2021, Amazon before that is actually not really super strict when it comes to selling supplements, and they started implementing all of this that moving forward all supplements must be compliant, or they must have all of this approval in order for them to sell it to Amazon. And even with toys beginning the year of 2021, they have compliance that, or they required sellers rather to provide certificates that
yeah, those are
this
the
is
worst.
just a lot. And even with pesticide, there's a lot of rules that they implemented especially during the pandemic. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you have this kind of violation that your listing is suspended, and they said that you are using a keyword that should not be allowed, that's why they suspended your listing. For example, if you are using organic in your listing and you don't have the
Mm,
organic certificate, then yeah, just try to upload the
yeah,
listing again and remove that keyword onto your
antibacterial.
listing.
That's one I know I've dealt with
Antibacterial,
before. That's the worst.
yeah, it's for pesticide. So, but yeah, it's always a different case. How are you going to resolve this as a private label seller or an arbitrage sellers? And then
Mm,
also with health claims, even though you have a legit document that you're allowed to sell this on Amazon, but then you have this health claims that this is, yeah, maybe I would say anti-inflammatory or helps someone with diabetes, all of those bold claims. And then Amazon will suspend your listing. And they will ask you, do you have the FDA approval to add this onto your claim? Do you have, a test or a
yeah,
laboratory certificate, something like that? So I guess the advice that I'm always telling my client, but again, it is a strategy. There's always something as risk. Make if you've received the kind of violation, then try to update your listing. If you are the private label seller, try to update your listing, make it sound really generic. And I know, I mean, I understand that you have to add these keywords onto your listing in order to add more traffic and in order for your customer to buy them. Especially, I was talking about someone who is diabetic, then they need to look for that product on Amazon. But the thing is,
sure.
your goal is not just to sell it on Amazon, but to make it active, because you have stranded inventory sitting in Amazon warehouse. And the longer that it takes for you to resolve that, then the harder it is affecting your inventory performance index. And then at the same time, Amazon will reduce the amount of storage that they can give you and send for the product that you can send to Amazon. Then there's also a possibility that you will pay for a long-term storage fee. But then one last thing, which is really important, that if you don't manage to resolve this stranded inventory at a certain number of months, let's say 60 days, and you don't have that setting onto your listing that you will remove it to your, or that you will remove it and send it to your warehouse, the Amazon will just dispose it. So there's a lot of factors to look at and to
Yeah.
consider. So what I'm saying, if you can make your listing totally compliant, review it from time to time, see if there's any update on Amazon. The funny thing with Amazon is that they will make an update, and usually they will only inform you last minute.
Course. Well, that's just how Amazon works. I think we call it a lot when we're talking. A lot of times we call that do it. The strategy is sanitizing your listing. So, like if you do run into any one of these different issues, a lot of times it's strip the listing down to the bare bones and slowly add keywords or words back into it. That's how,
Yeah.
for example, when I was working with an account where they had a listing that had the word antibacterial. We didn't know that was the word. We literally spent like a full month just having to keep
Oh
trying
my
to
God.
figure. Yeah, it was a nightmare.
You should have
Uh,
contacted me that time then.
Hey, you're right. You're right. You're right. I don't know what it was. There was something funky going on too, because I think we had stripped it down and yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's often a good strategy is just sanitize the listing and then slowly add back into it. Right. Um,
Yeah.
it's frustrating though. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, I just want to add more information about that antimicrobial or antibacterial issue because it's linked to pesticide. And if you have that pesticidal, what you might call this, like a number, and maybe if you can add it to your listing, and then
Mm,
Amazon will see that, so they will remove the suspension. But actually, there was one time I have this client that he is actually selling shoes. And
mm.
what's antimicrobial with the shoes? And there's also no keyword that is linked to that listing or added to that listing. So
So it
our
can be an
team,
error sometimes.
it could be an error. Yeah, that's true. So we just have to contact the catalog team and ask them that, hey, can you please correct this one? I mean, if you will look at it, I'm not using any keyword that is associated to pesticide, and this is not even a pesticide device or a pesticide product. Yeah, we contacted them. The thing that you need to do is obviously to reach the leadership team because they are the one who has access to do the tools. Because when you just allow the first level of support to provide you an answer and you're okay with it, you're not getting resolution. You just have to ask I mean, I told this one time that whenever you're trying to talk to a seller support, make sure that you are prepared, you have all of the documents ready, and you have something to say about what they will recommend you that you have already tried it. Here's the evidence or here's the document. Then now you'll have to ask them to contact the leadership team. But one thing, whenever you're talking to seller support, don't be mean. Just try to.
Yeah.
I know it is really frustrating, but then they also have an option to report you as a seller being abusive whenever you're contacting them. So, yeah, try to work it out in a nice way that, yeah, I understand you're really trying to help me. However, I think I need to contact your leadership team so that because they
Right.
have access to this one and that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good reminder though, especially, when you've already opened like ten support case email threads and then you get on the phone and you're cut off right when you get the person you think's going to solve it, then it's easy to be very upset. So yeah, that is a good reminder though. The person on the other end is there to help you sometimes. Sometimes they're
Mm-hmm.
not. But yeah, anyway.
Or
So yeah,
if it's you really got frustrated with that first agent because you don't want to transfer your call, you can just always end it and try to call again and get a different
yeah.
support.
Yeah, I've hung up many a call just for that reason. Cool. I know that there's a lot of other nuances to, listing related issues, but that's good, like just overview in general. And it sounds like a lot of it comes down to, first of all, if you're selling in a problematic category, you probably already know it, right? Like children's products, anything that's a consumable or a supplement,
Yeah.
CBD. CBD is the worst. CBD
No comment.
products. Yeah. All those kind of things. So anyway, so we talked about some good general and strategies, and really it boils down to try to stay away from those categories, I guess. If you're in one, then a lot of times, or you just run into one of these issues, sanitize the listing,
And
go
if you're
through the
in
things.
one and you're having this problem and you don't know how to work it out, hey, here we are. Contact
Yeah,
Ben and Arvin.
yeah, definitely dealt with these before, so definitely reach out. Oh, that's awesome. Well,
We're
thanks,
happy
Arvin.
to give you advices. Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing all that good stuff. So yeah, thanks.